Hello, everyone, and now for the part I'm most excited about, the philosophical questions. So, I believe, obviously, that there's a lot of conflict in the world right now, and I'm just fundamentally trying to figure out a way we can all make peace in this world and try and get along a little better for our kids and our grandkids and future generations. I think right now we're kind of destined to leave them a trashed, war-ravaged planet, and I'm not okay with that. So, I'm trying to figure out a way to create peace in this world, and I'm really putting myself out there, and I'm sure I'm going to fail a lot through this process, but yeah, I'm just going to put myself out there and try and create peace, and even sit down with my enemy or the people that don't believe the same as me, and try and figure this stuff out together. And the way things are right now, everybody's just fighting, and I think that's engineered and manufactured to be that way through the divide and conquer technique, and that's what our governments seem to do, is they divide and conquer us as civilizations. They keep us fighting amongst ourselves and angry that we're losing our freedoms and our ways of life that we want, and we want focus on the other side and think it's them, but in reality it's the government, and they just take turns using us, and just every 4 years they switch sides and take sides the other freedoms the other side wants, and it's just we lose every time, and it's been this way for quite some time, and every year they pass 1,000-page laws that the politicians don't even read, and it's just created by lobbyists, and we don't even have control of our system anymore. Anyways, that's a whole separate entity. I'm not trying to go into that, but what I am trying to go into is the fact that everybody is constantly just fighting and arguing, and it's just terrible. It breaks my heart, and we got to try and figure out a way to overcome that. And so the most logical way to overcome that and try and create peace in this world is to get everybody to be more accepting. So how can we do that? Fundamentally, if we just can accept everybody. So as long as I believe there is no victim, there is no crime, we can just have the freedom to do our own thing. As long as we don't steal from somebody or hurt somebody or harm somebody in any way. Emotional damage is one of those that's a gray area, but like physical damage and the loss of property, anything obvious like that, that is a for sure crime that needs to be addressed. And there's a lot of times when that doesn't even happen. Fundamentally, I believe taxation theft. So when the government takes money from you, I think that's theft, and and especially the things they're doing are criminal actions, and that if you support that to an extent, that then you're an accessory. So there's a very gray area on what is good and the way the world works, but that's what I feel. No victim, no crime. So from there, if we can just sit down and be more accepting of everybody, we all want the freedom to do our own thing and be left alone. So we just have to be able to look at somebody else and go, okay, that's what you believe, I'm okay with that, that's fine, you believe that, that's interesting, I see your perspectives, I appreciate them, I don't believe them, but that's cool. And so that's where I'm at. I've tried to open my mind up enough to where I really enjoy hearing other people's perspectives and their thoughts and their views. And it's just, I love talking philosophy. It's really, really fun. And so I created these 10 philosophical questions that I just want to go around and ask everybody and see what their perspectives are. And hopefully everybody just could be a little more accepting. And please watch this with an open mind. Don't watch it to judge somebody or drag them down and repost it and be ugly, because that's what the internet does, and that's what everybody does. And I'm sure they're going to do it to me at points. And good for you if that's what makes you feel better, dragging other people down. I mean, whatever. But I will gladly interview you, anybody who wants to drag people down and say negative things. So just come on out and see what the world says about you. So let's try and keep it clean. Let's try and keep it good, guys, for once. Yeah, it's hard to do with the internet. Anytime you ask them to do that, it usually backfires. But anyways, here we go. I'm trying it on the internet. I'm going to go ahead and interview myself first. I'm learning to edit videos. I'm not good at editing videos or public speaking, so I'm trying to do both at the same time and learn along the way. I'm also trying to kind of fix the political system. I'm running for sheriff and other entities and learn those along the way as I go too, and share that with the public, because I think ultimately we have to be more engaged in order to fix this mess. And community is the way. And anyways, the more we can do locally as a community, the better off we'll be. And so that's what I'm wanting to do, is just try and bring our communities together and make everybody as strong as a community as possible. And that way it works. In case a disaster strikes, we'll be able to survive without being connected to the rest of the world, because if the grid goes down or whatever and we're not connected, we're all in a very real dangerous scenario that we need to realize is a threat. So we got to prepare for that now, as soon as possible. So that's a separate entity from all this. But I'm getting ready to interview myself here, so bear with me. I'm going to be video cutting, and this is going to be a pretty fun attempt here. So I'm going to be doing my first 10 questions. There are 10 questions for these philosophical questions, and I did do this a couple years ago at Bike Fest. We have a couple 100,000 people that come down to the dam on Bike Fest here at Lake of the Ozarks every year, and I went through and I figured I'd go talk philosophy and politics and religion with a bunch of bikers. And it worked out great. They were very welcoming, and it was awesome. I just stood on the side of the road and just asked everybody that went by if they wanted to talk philosophy, and it was really great. It was beautiful. I'm going to be posting some of those videos ahead, but I wanted to put myself out there first. That way I'm not a hypocrite and out here interviewing all these people and saying all this stuff and didn't go first. So I got to go first in order to not be a hypocrite. So without further ado, here is my 10 philosophical questions that I'm going to be asking everybody, starting with myself. So Josh, good to have you on the program here. Thanks for showing up. Well, thanks for having me. Boy, this sure is a fancy setup you got here. Yeah, it's high-class accommodations. How about we just go ahead and get to the point? Can we go ahead and shoot for that, please? Don't get crabby. Don't get crabby. You're the one that invited me out here. Yeah, no problem. Let's go. What you got, bro? All right. To start off with, what would be your dream place to visit in the world? That's an excellent question. Yeah, man, there's so many awesome places in the world I'd love to visit. Obviously, you kind of want to go with the pyramids because that's historically where I've always wanted to, but lately I've been really getting into history and civilizations and like Göbekli Tepe, Petra, and the Sumerian Kings list over there. There's just a lot of cool places like that. I think Petra would probably be the coolest because it's just in the side of a mountain and it's just absolutely majestic. Petra in Jordan. But all those places over there, it's fascinating to think about history and how they did all that, and that maybe even possibly we've been more advanced and might have evolved or become less advanced over time. There's a lot of proof to show that some of the more ancient structures, there was more technology and more advanced stoneworking skills the older it goes back, which is fascinating to think. But it's all right there, proof. But yeah, I'd love to go try and visit those places and just see where it is. But Petra would be at the top of the list, but anywhere out there, all of them. Well, man, that sounds awesome and expensive. But yeah, if you ever have the chance to get out there, that sure would be awesome for you, buddy. I wish you the best in that. Thanks. Me too. All right. So, what's your dream in life? What do you hope to? If you had one dream and could do anything, what would it be? Well, I mean, I guess the easy answer is world peace. Of course, that's what I'd love to try and snap my fingers and create. But how do you go about creating that? That's the ultimate question: is how could we create world peace? And so, and what prevents it? I guess greed, if you look at it, would be probably the fundamental reason that prevents us, because everybody always is trying to get more and kind of get one over on everybody else to try and get out for themselves, and that just constantly drags us down. I guess we need more giving. I don't know, but I think that greed is the major problem that is plaguing mankind, because our rulers get greedy and they just will do terrible things, and it's been a constant problem. So how do you overcome greed? It's a hard thing. I mean, you can't just give everybody all the money in the world, because if everybody had that, we would just consume and waste the planet. Everybody would drive Lamborghinis and Ferraris and just not care, and we would trash the planet. So there's a fine line there on what we could do to fix this. I think a major thing that we could do would be just to give power to the people. I think that fundamentally we are addicted to oil and to all these entities that we have to survive and to exist, as far as even power and energy and food. And if we could have our energy for free, then we could actually give the power to the people, and that would change the power structure, if you will. So then people would be able to control things locally and in their hands, and we wouldn't be subjected to a higher form or higher dependency. And I think that's what will ultimately set us free, and freedom is what will create peace. So, yeah, I guess that's where it's at, is just trying to figure out a way to create peace in this world. That's my dream. Well, that's a really heavy dream, Mr. Butterfield. Oh man, that's going to be really hard to achieve, and I'm sure you hear it a lot, but it's basically a dream. It's going to be next to impossible to get the whole world there, so I wish you the best of luck in that. Good luck, good sir. Yeah, well, I'd rather try and fail than not do anything at all. You got to try and do something. I can't just sit here and let my kids inherit a terrible world. So I'm going to try to do something one way or another. Well, I wish you luck, buddy. I guess on to the next question. If you had one superpower, what would it be? Well, oddly enough, I've asked that same question to a lot of people before, and I've got a lot of crazy answers. And I'm just going to have to go with the basic one. It kind of sucks, but I just would love to fly. It would just be so amazing to feel the ability to just take off and fly. No wings or nothing, just like telepathically or whatever, where I could just fly, cruise at like 100 miles an hour. I got to go like warp speed or nothing. I would really, even under 50, I don't even care. It's cool. I just want to fly around and not be all like wore out, to where I could just like chill. I think that would be the coolest superpower. Like I said, I've heard way cooler, and it's just kind of basic, but me personally, I just think it would be so awesome to just fly around. Well, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty fly answer. Really? I mean, yeah. My kids sometimes laugh at my dad jokes. It's whatever. Anyways, so next question. What is the most unexplained thing you've ever seen in your life? This is my favorite question to ask people, because they don't know what happened. And so if they don't know what happened, how am I or anybody else in the world going to know what happened? So this is just an ultimate unknown question. There's never a right answer to this, or never. So what is the most unexplained thing you've ever seen? And that's the most fun part, is because everybody's seen something different and wild. So whether it be chupacabra, Bigfoot, aliens, angels, whatever you've seen, just go, what's the most unexplained thing to where you've seen something and went, I don't know what that is or how that works. That is crazy. What is it? Ooh, that's a hard one. There's been a couple things. Let's see. It's a cross between the two. I knew you were going to ask this question somehow. There was the Mandela effect, my own personal Mandela effect that happened to me I don't know why I always say St. Louis, in Jefferson City at the Capitol. There's my last name's Butterfield, and there is a stagecoach there. And I specifically remember it saying Butterfield Stagecoach. I even remember my son talking to me about it. He went on a field trip there, and I tried to tell somebody about it on a website, and they went there themselves, and they were like, no, that's not it. And I was like, what? And I went there and checked it out with my own two eyes, and it was not it. And I know for a fact it was. So that's like a crazy personal Mandela effect that happened to me. When I know it was there, I remember having the talk, I remember seeing it, and then it wasn't there anywhere. It's crazy. And then there was another time I kind of saw some weird stuff in the sky. Me and somebody else saw it, and I don't want to put any names out there because it's kind of crazy, but it was definitely a blue streak going across the sky that was just multiple times larger than any chemtrail or contrail or whatever that goes behind a plane. And it went massive, and then it went and it got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and went to nothing, and then it changed color to a bright red orange and then disappeared. So I don't think it was a meteor. I don't think it was anything like that. And it seems like there was some spot to where it zipped out to, and possibly, I don't remember. I wish I tried to record it, and it didn't record. I don't remember what was going on there too. I don't think it came out good enough to where you could see it. It was so far away. But yeah, those are basically the two most unexplained things that really stick with me. there is no explaining the thing in the sky, and the Mandela effect, personal Mandela effect, I mean, that's just maybe some kind of brain trick, but I don't know, man. It's something weird. I don't know. Well, that's definitely interesting. Definitely a little different, but yeah. I appreciate your honesty and your forthright. It's always, I'm sure, kind of hard to talk about weird stuff like that because you don't know what's going on, and you can't explain it. So, yeah. I guess on to the next question. What's one thing you would do to try and help the world? All right, so one thing I'd try to do to help the world, I guess I'll kind of compound on where I went earlier with my dream in life to try and help world peace, The one thing I would do is try and find the most successful free energy or self-powering device, free energy device, over unity device. The most efficient one possible on the whole planet. I know there's been a lot of people that have invented stuff and probably got shut down by the government. Whenever somebody invents something, they can go to patent it. The government cannot patent it and take the idea because it's a matter of national security. So I'm sure there's a lot of inventions that have been shut down. Nikola Tesla, Stanley Meyer, people you might want to look up, check out. But Wardenclyffe, things like that. But yeah, I think if the whole world had a way to power itself and get energy for free and give the power to the people, then that is fundamentally what would break us from our shackles of being held down and oppressed as a planet, I guess, as humans. There's always somebody that has some kind of power over us and uses it, whether it's money or oil or whatever. But I think if we had a way to create energy, it would just manifest and continue to manifest. And if you look around the whole world, that's kind of what we do. Kind of the universe, the way the universe works, energy manifests upon itself. So yeah, that's one thing I would do to try to help the world, is get the best free energy device out there and make it open source to where it can't be shut down, it can't be taken by the government, it can't be silenced. It has to be out there to the public to where anybody can just take it and invent it and use it and do it. So I got an idea for one. I don't think it's the greatest, I don't think it's anything, but I think it's something we can create in a situation to where if the grid went down, we could just engineer it and make it here, and we can create it locally right now in our backyards and survive off of it, and we could all do it. So it's a good way. Like I said, I don't think it's the best. I know there's people way smarter than me out there, and I can't even do this on my own without having people help me with what my plan is. So it's just checks out in theory. But I'll get more to that in the future of this website here. So yeah, I guess that's one thing I do. Well, yeah, that would definitely help the world. I think that's a great idea. That seems like an awesome idea there. You didn't have your shirt on backwards for that time, did you? Why, no. Look at it. I don't know. I think it was fine. Clearly. What are you trying to say? I mean, you changed your shirt since then, so you couldn't look down and made it. If you would have changed it, that wouldn't work. What are you trying to say, bro? I don't know, man. I think we just went through some kind of fourth wall or fifth wall or whatever, man. I'm not, whatever. Anyways, on to the next question. What are your thoughts on the federal government? Whew. That's a heavy question. So my thoughts on the federal government. Basically, I believe that the federal government is a complete waste. It's run by, basically at this point, lobbyists that create 1,000-page laws and pay politicians to pass them. And it's no longer about anything besides a bunch of dirty, corrupt people exchanging money and taking away our freedoms in the process and screwing us all over. And we're just forced to be subjected to this with no way or thought to try and do otherwise. We know it's broken, but we don't seem to know what to fix it, but we keep trying to vote in these people time and time again. And I think they're all two birds of this, two wings of the same bird. I think they all have the same agendas and plans, and none of them work for us. They're all buddies behind the scenes, and they don't work for us, and they're not doing what's in the people's best interest. So it's a complete and total loss. If it takes $1 billion to become president, that's not in we the people's hands anymore. Yeah, so I believe that basically that the federal government's lost, and that we don't really have a way to get it back. I think that if we could just, the most logical solution is to peacefully step away locally and do our own thing. No bloodshed has to happen, no bloody revolution or anything like that. We can just do it peacefully and just step away and say we the people locally are going to decide our own ways of life and step away from you crooks, and not contribute to this anymore and be an accessory to you guys' crimes, and just do the best way we can locally. I know it's a crazy thought, but yeah, it's something we got to do. I don't really see any other way. Violence is going to beget more violence, and we've let the government create all the good guns, so and all the good weapons. I think that fundamentally the people need to have the same ability to the weapons that the government has. So logically, we shouldn't have any weapons larger than you can fire or hold. I think that we should all have access to be able to defend ourselves. Logically, that makes the most sense. So, yeah. I guess my thoughts are that the federal government's lost, and we just need to step away and do our own thing locally. Well, that's a really extreme view, Mr. Butterfield. I'm sure people don't dig that one too much. That's a little extreme, and would be really hard to make happen. It would be next to impossible to happen. So you'd have to get everybody on the same page. You could never do that. Well, I never say never. I believe that we can do anything we set our minds to, and mankind can adapt and overcome to anything. I got a pretty crazy story to tell here pretty soon that it's just it's unbelievable, but I mean, you never know. You never know what you can do in this world if you try real hard. So I believe you can do anything you put your mind to, and if we all put our minds to doing it and try it, I honestly believe we could. It's not going to be easy or without a lot of work, but yeah, I definitely think it's possible. So yeah, we all just have different perspectives. I guess that's what this whole world's all about, is just seeing things differently, and I'm just going to keep trying to do the best I can. And I know it's going to be hard, and I know it's going to be a long shot, but you never count it out. Anything's possible. Well, we can appreciate the tenacity for sure. I guess from there, where do you feel that we came from on this planet? Where did we come from? Where did we come from? That's a really hard question to answer. I guess I'm just going to start out by saying I don't know. I mean, I've done a lot of research into a lot of different things, and ultimately it's all about perspective. Even if you look into churches and mosques or whatever, everywhere, all the religions or creators everybody believes in, if you go inside those places and talk to each individual in depth, everybody feels different and has a different perspective and vision of what their creator or what God is on certain aspects in one way or another. So therefore, we all kind of have a different God, and it's just all what we kind of create in our heads is all our own version of God. And what brings that on, I think, is a fear of the unknown. Mankind just has this inherent need and desire to know where we came from, and it makes people feel more comfortable to have an explanation. And for me, I am comfortable in not knowing. I don't know, and I'll say I don't know in any way, shape, or form. There are things I know for sure, and that energy manifests and it controls the universe, and that everything is connected in some way, shape, or form. We're all connected through some kind of energy. The moon controls our tides, and the sun, and everything. I mean, everything's connected in this universe. So that's as far as it goes. I've seen proof for God. I've seen proof for Buddhism. I've seen proof for a matrix. I've seen proof for just about every aspect. And it's hard to outweigh. I just try to keep an open mind and give all of them a possibility, and close my mind off to none. And I think that it's deeper and more complex, and we can maybe even understand. So I just kind of find comfort and solace in saying I don't know, and then going out into the world and trying to hear other people's perspectives and views and learn, and just maybe piece this all together. There's a lot of crazy things that's been on this world, from supposed giants. There's giants all throughout history books. There's just a lot of crazy things that have always happened, and a lot of questions to be answered. And it's just what we know and the extent of what this universe is. There's no telling. I'm not even going to pretend to understand or know. So that's where I'm from, or where I'm coming from, is that I have absolutely zero idea. I have hopes and all those other things, but you never know. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Well, thank you for being so honest, Josh. That was as clear as mud. I appreciate it. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding, buddy. Just kidding. But no, it's definitely a complex thought there. There's a lot to try and wrap your head around. So that was a good shot at trying to explain it. You know, I feel it was, at least. Well, thank you. But you better watch the small shots, small jabs there, or I'll have to take you outside. Bro, we're outside. And how the hell would we make that work? I'm sure a lot of people would like to try and see us make that work, but yeah, until we learn some CGI, that ain't gonna happen, bro. Yeah, whatever, man. What have we got left? Well, we got 2 questions left. Let's get to it. All right, man. Here we go. All right, so what do you think the meaning or the purpose of life is? Yeah, that's a hard one. Well, I guess there's 3 different ways to look at it. First off, you could look at it as there is nothing, and it is what it is, and when we die, it's just darkness. So in that case, there's no purpose in life, and you just got to make the most out of everything while you're here, and there's not a purpose in any of this. It's just all functioning and working as it is, you know, as the universe goes. So that's one aspect. The second aspect is that we're some kind of slave species that's trapped here, and they're using us somehow, whether it be like the Matrix, and they're harvesting us through some kind of digital, using us for some kind of digital thing, or we're enslaved by aliens, by gold or something, or even there's some kind of predator or fungus or bacteria that comes and maybe is even more advanced than us and goes after us. If you look at a lot of civilizations, it always seems they're on the run from something, but probably each other. That one's a little bit extreme, but if it is, so Elon Musk thinks that we're in a computer simulation or whatever. So that's basically where we would be, is that we're just stuck in some kind of alternate reality. And then from there, the other thought is that basically that this is just a test to see how good we are, and to try and create goodness in this world, and to try and test us and prepare us for the next level up. Whatever that level is, I don't know, or how it goes. But that's the one that I try and hope for the most, is that there's another level to this universe, and that we're just working and aspiring to get to that level somehow, and this is all a test to try and get us there. And I mean, there's proof for reincarnation and stuff like that too. Maybe they can throw us back. Or who knows how the universe works, or if it has the creator has a consciousness and stuff. I mean, it's so, like I said, it's so much more complex. But yeah, I think that's the probably the one that seems most prevalent. That this is just some kind of test for something bigger. So I don't know. Once again, I don't know the meaning or the purpose of life, but I think that the best we can do is try to create as much positivity and good things on this planet while we're here. I think that's ultimately all we can do and hope to do. So none of us are perfect. We all mess up, and that's part of this world, is that you can't appreciate the good without having the bad. If everything was always good, you wouldn't know what good is, you know. So you got to have the bad. It equals itself out. As much as the bad sucks, you kind of got to have it. But yeah, we just got to try and do the best we can in this world to create a positive positive environment and positive legacy, I guess. But that's the meaning and purpose of life, at least how I see it, you know. Man, that's pretty heavy. That's definitely a heavy thought there. I guess we're going to wrap this up and get down to the final question. What is the best piece of advice you'd give to everybody out there? What's the best piece of knowledge that you can hand on or pass out to everybody? I guess to never give up. Never give up hope. Never stop pushing. Just never, ever give up. Even when all hope is lost, there's still hope. There's still a chance. As long as you're breathing, as long as you're moving, there's still a chance. You got a chip in a chair, so they say. And as long as you got air in your lungs and your heart is beating, there's still a chance. So just try not to get drugged down with the negative in life. You can always, it will consume you if you let it. So you just have to brush off the terrible things in life. We've all had terrible things, and it sucks, man. This is a very, very hard world for all of us. And try to be empathetic to everybody else, you know, because we're all fighting our own battles. But just never give up, and know that there's always hope, and there'll always be another day. And you got to have the good and the bad in the universe. And if you've had bad for a while, there's going to be good eventually. It'll be due. So yeah, never give up and follow your dreams. Whatever dream you have, just pursue it. You only got one life. Break the cycle. Do whatever. Just do something different and wild, and don't even care. Whatever your dream is, just stay positive and pursue it and go for it. Don't give up. Don't let anybody stop you until you achieve what you want. As long as it's positive, stay positive. Don't be doing nothing negative, like terrible things, all the terrible things people want to do in this world. Try not to get consumed in that stuff and try and stay positive. But yeah, I guess that's it. Just never give up. Well, I can appreciate that message for sure. That's definitely a great idea. Yeah. So I guess that's the interview with myself, guys. I'm going to be working on video editing, so bear with me. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. It may turn out terrible. It may turn out good. But it was just my chance to just kind of make light of all of this. And yeah, hopefully everybody else out there, it's going to be the same 10 questions I got for everybody. I want to ask these 10 questions to as many people in the world as I can, and just welcome everybody's views and opinions with open arms. Unless, once again, it's bad and it harms people, then I won't be so open to the ideas, and I'll have to be like, well, man, that's not the best idea. But as long as the ideas and stuff are positive and good, I think that yeah, we need to be open to everybody's ideas and try and just embrace each other's beliefs. And just let everybody do their own thing. And just, you know, if somebody doesn't believe what we do, what we believe, it's like, oh, well, you know, good for you. I believe what I believe. You do your thing, I'll do mine. And we can just all coexist freely that way. I think that's what we need to shoot for. So that's what I'm trying to do. Call me crazy, guys. But I'm going to keep persevering, and I'm going to keep trying, and I'm not going to give up. And I got a lot more stories and a lot more wild stuff. I got some inventions. I got some comedy stories, a lot of dumb stuff I've done in my life. I have a whole life of mistakes that I've made, and I'm not scared. Not scared to tell them. It'll be all right. But yeah, so stay tuned. It's going to get wild. I appreciate everybody. If anybody wants to be interviewed to be part of this, my number is 573-286-8316, and I appreciate y'all. I love everybody, and thank you guys.